Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups, and today we're looking at something I'm pretty excited about. It is the Sharp Vision FPV ground station. It's a 7-inch high bright LED monitor with built-in 5.8 dual receiver and DVR. So why am I excited about this? If you look at any of my reviews or read any of my articles, you know that I fly small FPV quads, large FPV quads, small planes. I fly everything FPV. And one of the first FPV items I ever received was a 7-inch dual diversity, and I always bring it with me. But I was having some issues with that, and when I turn this around, we're going to talk about why I like this one better. The other thing is that, let's say the last time I went out, I had a single receiver and I had 2 video outs. I had to order the second video out because it only came with one. And so I had 1 video out going to my head plays and 1 going to my DVR. I'm running a battery to my head plays, a battery to my DVR, and a battery to my monitor and dual receiver. And I was like, this is crazy. I had it all Velcroed on. It was not optimal. And so I got on the internet and looked up on the site of Surveil Zone. And David at Surveil Zone has sent me some cameras. Usually they're sitting around here. I don't have them around me right now. They must all be in planes. But I said, hey, I see something that's solving a lot of problems for me, and it's this monitor. So let's go over what you get in the box. So you get the monitor, of course. It comes with 2 rubber ducky antennas, which we all know we're not going to use. It comes with these cables that plug in the back. We're going to look at that in a second. This is one of the exciting parts for me. So you can use this, or there's another style cable that you can use. And it also is supposed to have had a shroud to protect it from the sun. Mine didn't ship with one. I can ask David if that's stock or standard or not. I find those things to be kind of a pain. Now, if your monitor's so light or not bright that you need a shroud, then you need one. But this monitor is bright enough that I don't think I really need one. I took it outside, I did some tests, it looked great to me just standing in the sunlight. The other interesting thing that it has is this power out. So here's what's interesting about this. The cable's short, so it can't do what I'm thinking, but I could power out of this into my head plays and bypass running a separate battery on the head plays if I wanted to. Just a thought. And that's kind of it. It comes with Velcro for the shroud if you actually get a shroud. But anyway, I'm really focusing on the unit itself because I'm pretty excited about it. Before we turn around, and I'll show you all the cool stuff. 10 millisecond response time. It has PAL and NTSC, which is interesting because the camera I'm running this with turned out to be PAL, which this monitor made me aware of that. It has video, audio. It will run on a 2-cell to a 4-cell LiPo, resolution D1, VGA, QVGA, and I'm assuming D1 is the best. It looks the best to me. It supports a 32 gig or micro SD card, and that's basically it. So now let's flip it around, and before you get bored with the video, if you're actually purchasing or have purchased this, there is some menu stuff I want to show you that's important, and it wasn't in my box, and I had to do a little running around to figure out what was going on. So let's look at the back here. Alright, so one interesting thing I like, a battery strap, because I usually put Velcro on here, and usually the Velcro will ultimately fall off in the hot sun. Then my battery falls, then it yanks the cable, and then I have had the power cables that are on the board to the unit actually get pulled off. I had to pop off the back and resolder it and all that. Never felt really secure with it again. This actually has a T-plug in the back right here. So I think that's awesome. I feel like it's going to relieve a lot of stress from the board itself and make this a more robust unit. And then that's how this other plug works. So you can go straight out to there. Very nice. That's cool. Dual receivers. Now here's one thing that is kind of odd. The antenna outputs are coming out at this angle, which means whatever you're going to run, you're probably going to need a 90-degree piece to go with your antenna. You could run an antenna like this, or you could run this antenna and have it pointing the right way, or if you had your X squared they do sell a piece like this, but it's not stout enough to really hold this up, so I would have to make sure this was pointing the right way and maybe held in place somehow. Anyway, so that's something to be aware of. When you order this, be sure to make sure that you have connectors. And here is something that's really cool. It seems so simple, but it's cool nonetheless. It has a power switch. I don't know if you can see that. It's right here, which means that I don't have to unplug and replug. I can just turn it off and on. None of my other units have that. I don't know why. Seems simple. Also, I'm the worst at leaving batteries plugged in, especially when I stop doing a review for a second and go eat lunch or something. And so this does not appear to drain the battery when it's turned off. And we all know if we leave a battery plugged into an airplane, it will drain it. So far so good. You want to unplug your batteries, but in case you forget. Here's another awesome piece. This is really what sold me on this. It's got a micro SD card right here. Well, it doesn't come with a micro SD card. It has a micro SD slot. So I've got a 32 gig card in there, which means I can now DVR off this. And the reason that matters is because the DVR I had last time was tiny, and in the sunlight you couldn't see the screen, and when you hit the record button, you really had to work to make sure you're recording. And I have left the field and actually didn't record because the blinking red light was so little, I thought it was on, it wasn't. Anyway, problem solved. Thank you very much. And so here we have the video out, and then this is your plug for your power out, and it has a USB cable here, and that says for updates. I'm wondering if you could USB out your video that you shoot. So one more thing before I turn back around and talk about the menu. Here's your two buttons, and I thought that these were just buttons you to press, but they're not. They actually are buttons that go left, right, up, down, and in. And so on the review on RCGroups, I have gotten pretty specific graphics of how that actually operates. I'm going to flash up a picture in the video here. So here is how the buttons actually work. And then if you want to hit freeze frame at some point, here's the functions. I'm going to do a visual so you can see how they work. I didn't have a PDF, so I thought, oh, this will be easy, and it wasn't as easy as I thought. I figured it out ultimately. So to get in the menu, I'm pressing the right button here. You press there, and then if you want to scroll down the menu, you just push down on that button that you just pushed in on. And so I'm not going to mess with this. Well, I could, I guess. It has a scan button, so you don't have to hunt for the frequency with dip switches. You hit scan, so it auto turned off. You hit scan, so what are we on? 5705. Okay, so I hit the scan button, and you see it's scanning, and it has this little rotating bar. So no, I don't want that. So I'm going to hit no. I'm going to depress. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. Hit the right button. No, I don't like that. So do I like this? 5705. Yes. So here's an interesting fact. We all know that some channels will bleed over to other channels, and you can actually scan on here and find the wrong channel and it'll look good sitting next to it. But if you got too far out, your signal would go bad. So you want to make sure that whatever channel you actually are broadcasting on is the channel that you pick here, so that you have the best reception as far out as possible. And then if you go down, I'm going to hit yes, so it selects that. You go down, PAL, volume, gamma, brightness. All these look pretty good to me where they were. Burst, language. Okay, this is important here, but when it shipped to me, it shipped in English. If it wasn't in English, then you could change it there. Light, auto, you figure out if you like that or not. Reset, so you could go back to default. So if you see this R flashing up here in the corner, that means that my DVR is recording. And the reason it's recording is I pushed the wrong button. So now the R is not flashing and it's not recording. And so while we're up here, let's talk about what some things mean on the screen. So it looks very low lag to me. So up at the top, there's actually an on-screen display. This is interesting right here, 99.99.1. That means that we're picking up channel or receiver 1, and this is the RSSI for 1 and RSSI for 2. So I was talking to Matt Gunn, and he said, why would you need that? It's weird that it has it. Because as your signal gets worse, your RSSI signal is going to decrease. And I thought, well, maybe you can actually look at this and say, I'm down to 20%. I better turn it around and bring it in. Also, it has a timer. So the amount of time that you've been out, you can actually reset that with your buttons. And then this is telling me, which is great, it has 11.5. It's telling me the voltage coming off of the pack that's running the actual unit, which was always a fear of mine, is that I would be running a pack and then it would go out in the middle of a flight. Now I can actually monitor where I'm at. And so there is a DVR. So I'm going to take the right button and I'm going to push it right. So this is the DVR setting, and I'm going to push it one more, and then this is AV3. So this would be a third source. I'm going to go back. So we're back again. And I'm going to push down. Down is the help menu. So down is just going to tell you what channel is which and what your buttons do. I did not know this. Of course, I wasn't pushing down. I didn't know the buttons went down. Push down again, it takes me back. I'm going to go up with this button and see what I get. When I go up, it takes off my on-screen display. And then I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to push in. Okay, I'm at menu. Dang it, I'm at scan again. So if you push and push, you're going to get a scan. No, don't want that. Yes, I want that. Oh, check that out. So if you go to frequency, you can change the frequency. AA. Okay, so now I've got both frequencies on AA. $57.05. Okay, so I just manually found my channel using the menu. Pretty cool. Alright, so what is next? The DVR. So I'm in DVR. I've just pushed the button, and as you can see, there's a big red flashing light or spot, I guess. And so now you know that you're recording. I'm going to push it again and I'm off. So now I'm in the camera screen, and if I go right, this is pretty confusing, but you've got your PDF in my review that you can look at. But now we're looking at videos. So camera, and now I push right, and I'm going to push that, and it's now playing the video I shot. So what that does for you is, if you're at the field and you're like, did I get it? You can jump on here and take a look, and it's larger. Oh, my dog just came up on my leg, and I thought a spider ran up my leg. So it's larger than the tiny DVR I had. So now I can actually, before I leave the field, check to see that I got everything going. Okay, so we're going to bounce out of that. Okay, so now we're going to go into the DVR menu. So I just pushed it right. I'm going to push it right again. I'm going to push down, and I'm going to go down, 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 push, English, Dutch, France. Now with me it was here, and I was like, where's English? So you got to go up, pick English. Date and time. I'm going to go ahead and set that, because when you, whoops, okay. You want to set your date and time, because when you pull this SD card out and put it on your desktop, it'll tell you it's 2009. So you definitely want the most recent date so that you can find your videos that you've shot. So what else? And now we're going to jump out of DVR, go back. So this is probably where I'll live most of the time. And that is it. Dual diversity receiver, DVR, super bright screen, on-off switch, T-plug in the back. video out to my goggles, and this really answers all the things that I needed. $189.99 I think at Surveil Zone. Be sure to check it out. I'm really excited about this unit. I'm Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com.